Board of Trustees, please.
Howard Thunder.
Present.
Diane Jordan. Here. Todd Daniel.
Here.
Chad Sargent.
Here.
Brenda Walters.
Here.
Lauren is present.
Place to the flag.
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Most gracious and kind Heavenly Father, thank you for this day and the many blessings you bestowed upon us. We ask that you would watch over these proceedings here today. Each and every decision we make is for the good of our community and the right thing to do. We ask that you would be with one of our own, Carissa, and her son. Put your leading hands on him, guide and help and direct him. These things I ask in thy name. Amen.
I want to add in Ruth too as well, guys. Keep Ruth in your prayers. She's dealing with some challenges right now as well. Recognition of guests. Thank you guys for coming. We got a few people streaming in. Beautiful day in Hochatown. Still warm. Tony, thanks for coming.
Hey, Thomas.
Our speaker of our council also, Thomas Wilson.
Fantastic. Hey, Tom, how are you? Good to see you.
Thanks for coming in.
All right, good to see you. Got economic development. What's your title again? Economic development? Okay, beautiful. Thank you guys all for being here. Okay, any public comment today?
Yes.
Okay.
Crystal for agenda items 10, 11, 12, and 17.
Item 11, it has department heads, and wondering if that's not, one of those shouldn't be as a committee, because we haven't been introduced to Douglas Copeland as a department head. If he's and his report last time seemed to be more about committees. So if he is department head, would y'all clarify that for the public on what department he's leading, kind of what's going on with that, and how he's being paid as a department head, and what other people work in that specific department, because that has police and fire department on it, so that was a little confusing. On number 17, we're all for a library. We'd like to know what the full costs are, because number 17 says it's $1,500 a month for the rent. Does that include electricity, water, the insurance, internet, what other costs are gonna be associated with that? And once it's moved from this location to the other location, how's that gonna be manned? Is it volunteers, are you hiring a librarian? And what will the cost be associated with that, just as a question that's out there? And then on the administrative report, I don't know if this will be on there, it's been on there on some before. There are some open records requests that are still pending from back in October of 2024. So we'd like to know when admin is gonna be working on those open records requests, and if we can have some updates on those, please. Thank you.
Thank you, Crystal. Anyone else? Consent docket, items, following items are considered routine by the Board of Trustees will be enacted in one motion. Discussion desired on any item, this item will be removed from the consent docket and considered separately. So we've got 24th of September, 4th of September, on special and regular meetings. Did anybody have any concerns?
I think it shows that we got all the work done. So it's not, the more meetings we have, the more faster we're moving.
We've got a lot of work done.
Make a motion to approve consent docket.
I'll second that.
Roll call vote, please.
Howard Hager. Turner,
Yes.
Diane Jordan,
Yes.
Todd McDaniel,
Yes.
Chad Sargent,
Yes.
Brenda Walters,
Yes.
motion carried.
Treasurer's report, please.
So I had fun with this one because the meeting was on the first, so.
You're flying today, girl.
Pulling numbers together real quick, wasn't it?
Alright, so September, with our granted, again, that's our lodging taxes that are remitted directly through our site at Hochatown.gov. And we came in at $214,655.38. Post-term deposits, again, that's lodging taxes as well. So I do still get a handful of checks, sent snail mail for real deposit, just because, we don't have our ACH, option, just yet. Sales tax was $456,036.50. Our use tax came in at $8,401. Cigarette tax, $3,570.60. We did have a refund from our payment processor for $10. Interest on the account was $21,447.72. With our income coming at $738,799.06. Our debts this month was $293,208.96, leaving our net income at $444,590.10. And then again, I added the month-over-month sales tax trend. So from last month to this month, we were down like 14%. But year over year from September to this year, we are up 11%. And I still, I've left the licensing activity, so we had 22 new STR license for the month of September, and 24 of those were renewal applications, which means those are the ones that have the late fee. So, it was after October 31st.
Hey Julie, on your renewal applications, and even your first time licenses, do you have an idea of how many of those have been in business longer than their first time?
I can pull that for
Yeah, we
you.
can
I can-
pull that.
You know what I'm asking? Just kind of curious as to,
How many
whether they're-
first timers we have?
well, if they've been operating for 3 years, but they're just
Yeah.
not getting a license, which is great, or if they're renewing, but they've been doing it for 3 years.
Right.
Just curious, not today.
All right. Thank you so much.
One more question, just off the top of your head, if you know it, you don't, we won't worry about it. Do we have an idea of what total SDR licenses we have registered?
Yes.
Roughly?
It's tabulated in the system and we can print that report
Yeah.
out and give it to you separately if you want.
Be nice to have that.
Yeah,
Not sure where we stand with it.
Yeah, I
Okay,
got it.
sure.
okay, no problem. Thank you.
That one's
Thank you.
super easy.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do a report. Let's start off with,
Motion to approve the treasurer's report.
oh, yes, sorry.
Make it. I'll second.
Howard Haggard,
Yes.
Diane Jordan,
Yes.
Todd McDaniel.
Yes.
Chad Sargent.
Yes.
Brenda Walters.
Yes.
Motion carried.
If I'm slow today, I'll just let you know, I've been Sudafed for 2 days.
This is it, I can't hear my head's on
Just
this.
floating around with it. But I'll get better. Okay, now we'll move over to, let's do the town administrator's monthly report first.
All right, good afternoon, board, everybody. So let's go ahead and start off with roads. So Mako Road, we got the payout back. We got it approved, signed off by the board here, and we sent certified payment mailed out to the contractor on September 26th. Choctaw Hills, The project began on September 22nd with dirt work and drainage structures, primarily first going along Greenway. It's going to progress from south to the north end, and contractor anticipates completion of the entire project within 5 weeks from September 22nd. As far as Camp Branch Road, we did award that bid, if you guys all recall. The start date is primarily depending upon the completion of Choctaw Hills. Again, we estimate that timeline to be 45 days from September, so that puts us at, 45 days from September 22nd, so that puts us at around November 6th, approximately, right? So we may hit a few snags on the Choctaw Hills project, and or it may go pretty quickly, but it all depends on getting that one knocked out first. As far as our miscellaneous road maintenance projects goes, our road easements, we just initiated the creation of the batch 3 easement acquisition. So this is going to consist of the existing easements that we do not currently have, and so this should be our final and closeout batch of road easements to obtain from these private roads. So we should be in great condition after this one. This one should take a little bit longer because it's probably going to be the longest list of subdivisions that we've had thus far, but it should be our last one.
Do you have a list of what you've got for batch 3?
Yeah, I've got it on the computer. We've also identified the missing easements, prioritizing for action, and then we've also requested from our legal department an abstract to be performed on the Hochatown Trail. I went through a whole bunch of plats over the last couple of weeks, and I could not find a designated ownership of the creation or the inventory of Hochatown, so I've had an abstract performed on that so we can identify what we need to do to get the easement for that one so we can start running maintenance. Did a bunch of site visits throughout town with our inspector Charles Hinkle, and we've developed an aggressive maintenance plan. We're going to be pushing a lot of roads to get maintained throughout the month of October. As far as miscellaneous additional road design standards were approved, our Evergreen Hills plat was approved by the Planning Commission. Our next step is, as the recommending body of the Planning Commission, is going to send the road design standards to the Board of Trustees, and then the Evergreen Hills plat to the Board of Trustees. Did a lot of discussions with legal on setting up the fire department. We're working towards getting a resolution done for redistricting our fire district. Had a series of meetings with our planning firm J&A and TSW to discuss with Mr. Rusty Vaughn's rezone application. Let's see here what else. Worked on several grants. We have an EDA disaster supplementary grant that could award potentially between $2 and $20 million to be applied for the wastewater project. Does anyone have any questions at this point?
Did the Rusty Vaughn rezone meeting we had on the 25th, is that still ongoing or still moving?
It's still ongoing, yep. We're trying to get a meeting with Mr. Vaughn's legal representation now to discuss the findings that we came up with J&A.
Okay, great. Good job, Adam. Thank you so much.
Appreciate it.
To add to that,
Yep.
I got a call from Jared. As of to date, we have trapped 40 hogs in town, Hochatown.
Bacon.
Well, the ones they had,
We're still in progress.
well, they've
Yeah, tell them about
been battling with deer
Yep.
and other, I believe they've had raccoons, and I mean, there's just been a lot of fighting for space inside these corrals, so they've had to kind of war with, we have so many deer now in
Yeah.
Choctaw Hills and surrounding neighborhoods that it's been a little bit of a challenge. He said, he was telling me that he's never seen this many deer that compete with the, and they've got these techniques, and so, they had our cage set up east of the Bendigos there on our property, and the deer were just outnumbering the hogs, but the hogs were there, but it was just too much of a challenge. So
All
they,
hogs would get right up to the gate and wouldn't go in.
yeah, but he had,
Tony had them.
but like, how many did you say there were?
He sent me the text, we caught, the first 3 days we had traps up, we caught 25 hogs. Then we went 3 weeks or more
Mm-hmm.
with one behind your place.
Yeah.
And they would get right up to it and wouldn't go into it. He moved it over to Banjo.
Yes.
And that's when he caught the 11 head of hogs that I saw on my game cam, behind the casino. is what he caught on Banjo Road.
He said they
That's-
caught
that's the-
15.
Yeah,
on
he's got
Banjo.
15, yeah.
So-
So that brings us up total 40.
So taking care of your grass.
So progress, it's
Yeah.
it's a nuisance that,
Yeah.
you know, is just coming and going, but we've got them for how much longer, Adam?
We got,
It's a
that's
6
one
month
project.
contract,
That's
running
running
out.
on.
Yeah, about 2 months in.
2 months in, okay, so yeah, so far.
Well, they've moved up north. They're in my yard now.
Oh,
Never
really?
had them up there, now they're there.
Oh, wow.
They figured out how to do
Get some
track.
game cams up so we can.
Need to lock this off.
You're picky, picky.
All right, let's move forward with, we've got Adam, let's go to police chief. Mr. Chief Reeves.
Cities.
We're dressed casually today.
Apologize for the attire. I am on a Harley right after work.
Good.
Leaving straight from town hall.
Good for you.
Good for you.
So another busy month for the police department. Lots of high points. We have 2 officers that have onboarded since the last meeting.
Back here.
Jason is here.
Yes, you want to introduce yourself, just to do it? Put you on the spot, but.
Put you on the spot.
It's all good. This is Chief. I'm Jason. Jason, thank y'all for having me. It's been honestly, it's been a blessing to work here. I've taken a few calls. We're not hot and rolling like we want to do yet, but hey, what we have done, we've been effective, very effective, and I'm proud of that myself. So, thank y'all.
Absolutely. Thank you, guys.
So quite a few calls. One of the other high points, we have all of our equipment. All of our units.
Yes, big accomplishment.
We still have one unit. The existing units that we do have possession of are fully equipped. Axon has been installing our license plate reader and our in-car camera for the past 2 days. Yesterday, when they finished mine at about 12:50, we got a dispatch call of a possible DUI driver coming into Hochatown. We were able to make that traffic stop after we got probable cause. And presented that it was a tribal member who had a little bit to drink. I called tribal police. They came out and did the field sobriety, determined that he was not intoxicated to the degree to make an arrest, so he was cited for the open container in the vehicle and allowed to call somebody to come and drive him.
Good.
That ticket will be filed in tribal court. Some of the other high points. We've had a few cabin break-ins, and with the assistance of Deputy McDaniel from the Sheriff's Office, we have a suspect. We have interviewed that suspect, which has led us to a couple other suspects and then recovery of some property
All right.
at this point. So we're still working our relations with the Sheriff's Office and the other agencies, but those are paying off. So for the month of September, we did have 2 traffic stops, 1 citation, and a warning was issued. We attended the meet and greet with the Lieutenant Governor candidate Cindy Bird, and we attended the special town meeting in September.
And you've got, besides Jason, we've got new officer. Yes. And then you have a third?
I have a 3rd position, we haven't filled that one yet.
Okay. Yeah, okay. Interview on that one or just?
Still doing some background stuff,
Okay.
trying to get that established.
Yes.
Any questions?
I have to put it in a comment for the police department. So this week, we're used to having to do everything ourselves. And so we're at a little problem that we're having with the local and who drives up, but Officer Leday and Nick to take care of everything. And it was fantastic. So it was great that they were able to.
We'll elaborate. It was a missing person, but it's one of our town people and our librarian. So hit close to home, so the guys got out, started scouring, trying to find her, locate her. They did locate her vehicle, make contact with her. Everything was good.
Good deal.
It was fantastic. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Bree.
Appreciate it. All right, let's do the fire chief.
Sorry. So for us, we're there. We're waiting on 2 guys' background checks. I hope they're done today. It's been a week. They told me a week. As soon as those 2 guys are done, they're already in the pension system. They took their drug test yesterday. They're ready to start work. Once that happens, we're fully staffed 24/7. I got all the owners here.
Yeah.
That's all we're waiting on is their background checks. Like I said, they're already in the pension, their gear's here. Actually, Poto's letting them borrow their gear until theirs comes in, so, that's pretty helpful for us. The other day, yesterday, I had 2 guys at the casino for a little over 4 hours. They walked through the casino, they gave them the whole tour, they let them use the hydrant in the parking lot, they were out there pulling hoses and training for like 4 hours yesterday.
That's fantastic.
The casino's been really helpful, letting us use those hydrants over there, so. We've had guys here for the last couple of days, going back today, but, the 4 part-time guys I hope start next week. And then that'll get us, they're gonna help fill in those spots with these full-time guys, to kind of get them more acclimated to the car area, because they don't know anybody or where anything's at. And those 4 guys are local, so it'll help those full-time guys out a bunch, to get them used to the area. Uniforms are all in, everybody's hired, they all got their uniforms. That's got where the truck's in service, the truck's ready, all the hoses are on it, air packs are ready.
So the full-time guys are all working right now. They've got shifts.
Yep, we're just waiting on the 2 guys from Poto. And then once they're approved, I'll split up Jason and Aaron, so the 2 oldest, more senior guys who've got all the experience. I'll split those guys up, put these Poto guys with one of each of them, and then we'll be staffed. Nice. 24/7. So, I hope today we get that confirmation back to their background is complete.
It'd be nice at some point when we get them all to have a little meet and greet and meet them all. You know, like we do with you guys.
Yep,
Just to
I'll
get
get them all here maybe next month's meeting.
Yeah, with police
I'm thinking a little competition going on.
Yeah, maybe a
A
tug, maybe a
little
tug
great
of war.
competition going on.
I ain't played tug of war, they got Jason.
That ain't fair.
That would be
I don't play
tough.
tug of war.
Let's stack that.
But we're there. Except for the last 2 guys. Good.
You bet. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Yes. Progress. All right, Mr. Skip, ready to give us a light briefing?
So I'll address the public comment. I think that we should establish probably for the public what I'm doing, but master service agreement we entered into on the 9th of May, I believe it was, a special meeting. You guys founded the Hochatown Development Authority. I came in to help organize that and to kind of help Adam with some projects that, just to take the workload off. He has an enormous, even still today, he has an enormous workload. So for you guys to think about him in that way, I think it was a great move, and I appreciate the opportunity to be able to work with you guys.
And Skip, you've been a tremendous help too.
Appreciate that.
Thank you, sir.
And then, of course, Shelley's a big part of this as well, and her services are part of that master service agreement as well. All the things that she takes care of, the crisis management, the public information, the press releases, the social media management, all of those things are involved with what we're doing. And so I hope that addresses what's going on and who I am. I don't think I have a title. Technically, I'm a contractor that's helping you with the management of Hochatown Development. So
Yes.
we'll just leave it at that. But
Thank you for that.
yes, sir. Let's start with where we're at on the HDA, because we're still waiting on the audit. So we really don't have any business to conduct until we can get the audit in place. And we had some information that came to us at OML that we thought these universal procedures that we were going to use were going to work for us to be able to go after some debt service and be financing for some of the projects that we're looking at. What we understand today, and I thought Nate might be here today, but
He'll be on phone.
he'll be on phone. Okay, so maybe he can enlighten us a little more, and we can talk about this a little more. But he wants us to have a full-blown audit on the previous fiscal year before we actually go after finance. So he's the expert, and he and Alan together, I trust them with what they know exactly what they're doing, and I think they'll guide us in the right place. But until we have that, there's no reason for us to conduct. This same board will be the HDA board as well. but there's no reason for us to convene that group until we have some business to conduct, right? So that's where we're at on that.
And I will say, let me say real quick to skip that. What I've learned recently is that audit that he's recommending is a recommendation, meaning that there's certain particular banks in the state of Oklahoma, if they have a vested interest in your town or know your town's history and position, a lot of times audit's unnecessary. So that's what I've learned just recently from other mayors across the state. But Nate is recommending that we do it. I think it's in our best interest to do it.
I think what he said, and I don't know what he'll speak for himself, but what I heard him say was that it would make us more competitive if we had the full-blown audit. And I think I understand that logic, and so we'll just have to see what the timeline looks like, and we'll let them explain that to us, and we'll make the best decision that we can with the information that we have.
Absolutely.
So let's quickly go to those projects then that we're working on as the HDA. The first one being the wastewater project. So we had some information come in earlier, I believe it was last week now, that ODOT has extended now on that 65% design plan. It looks like December at the earliest on that one. And our conversations with Garver around this are that until they are certain which land easements and what the green space availability is, that there's no reason for them to even take another stab at design. So that's pretty much, we're kind of in a circling pattern until we have some more information to go with it. Now, the permitting is still going full speed ahead. Last indication I have is that the wastewater reallocation has been received at ODEQ, but we have not heard a response from them on that. But that was ODEQ's recommendation to us, that we resubmit that reallocation, so we have no reason to believe that there's going to be a problem with it. We just haven't heard back yet, any kind of confirmation. So with that being said, the land acquisition piece that I've been working on for the sewer wastewater plant and the lift station, again, those specifics we can talk about in an executive session, but those things are ongoing, and we have some, I think we have solutions for both of those situations should they arise. How far out they tend to be will give us more opportunity with some of these land parcels that we're looking at. So we'll just, again, if there's more conversation to be had, it probably should be done in an executive session. A couple of snags that we've run into. One is on the filing of the easements. I'm going to have to go back and do some correction on the very first batch of easements that we did in order for those to be tidied up at the county. And so that's something that just for you to be aware of. It's not a concern necessarily. It's really just being able to account for things administratively and have them filed properly at the county. Not over-filed, if you understand what I mean. We kind of over-filed them, which obligates us in the future. And we didn't have to, and so we're going to redo that filing to make it so that everything can just be filed at the county level. And then the Trails project. Let's talk about that one for just a second. So that one's actually going very, very well. Brad Rollinger's here with us today, and Brad and I have done quite a bit of work. We've had several very informative and constructive conversations with some folks. The most recent one being with Penn State Park Management. What we learned from them was, and I'll use his words, he said we have a density problem. We don't have enough mileage for the amount of people that we have for our trails. We can't spread people out far enough. We learned a few things from him. One is that if there's ever been a trail that's been commissioned in the park or on park land, it can be reopened with just local approval. We really just have to go to Mike Willoughby's boss and say, hey, we want to reopen this trail, and just they basically just bless that, and then we can coordinate with them. So those public lands then become available for us to then convert if we want to.
Do we have a list of which trails we're looking at? I mean, like Indian Nation Trail is the one that, I probably spent the most time trying to uncover.
We do, in fact, and
Okay.
we've started to, if you want to go on all trails, I'll show you. There's an app called All Trails, and we're logging our information on there just so it's kind of universally available when we get ready to make people aware of it. We don't want people on trails that aren't open yet,
Right.
but we are mapping them right now. And what we've asked for from the park is any copies of old maps that they have that would show trails. And we know that the Epper's Camp Trail, for instance, is one that can be reopened, has not been open, I think he said, in 45 years.
Yeah.
But that's one that could be reopened. It's a very interesting trail, and it's a part of the river that a lot of people never see. I don't want to go on too long, it'll make the meeting go long, but we're going to have a meeting. We're looking at the third week of October to have our kind of an organizational meeting on the trails. We're talking to 3 organizations. I think I've mentioned this before. We met recently with Rogue Trails, and those guys are very interested in coming over and taking a look as well. We've had Progressive Trail Designs here who are building the mountain biking facility for the Olympics in 2028. So, I mean, they're as big as it gets. And then American Ramp Company, who is kind of the premier builder of bike parks and pump tracks. Those guys are also, I've been in contact just earlier today with that from the American Ramp Company, and they're excited about the possibility too. So we look to soon have a comprehensive plan on what this trail system looks like. I was talking to Councilman Ward earlier, and we were talking about the fact that it would be wonderful to be able to have a 2-way all the way to Broken Bow, or even further, but for people to be able to go on non-motorized traffic, to get from Broken Bow to Hochatown and have trailheads that take you into the park or take you into a commercial area, and be able to, let's put a plan together that at least gives us that vision, and then we build what we can, right? We build what we can afford, and we build what we have the resources and the labor to do. That's kind of the idea behind the trails plan. Jumping quickly, and I'll be quick about this, the public information side of things, we've had a lot of activity on the public information side. There's been a lot to talk about, and there's been a lot to kind of answer, particularly when it comes to just rumors and gossip and those kinds of things that kind of get blown out of proportion or get used out of context. We spend a lot of time on that. We shouldn't have to spend as much time as we used to, but we do spend a lot of time on it. The social media piece of what we do and the press releases that we do are to promote the town, to give the town the image that we want it to have, right? We're a tourist town, and we want to continue to be a tourist town from now on. And in order to do that, we have to protect our image. We have to make ourselves as hospitable as we can possibly be. And so my hat tip is to my wife, Shelley, who takes care of all of that. I spend very little time other than just this. But that's it, unless you guys have some questions, that's all I have for you today.
Fantastic.
Great work.
Thanks,
Great work.
Thank you again, Shelley, for all you do.
Skip and Shep.
And Skip,
It's a labor of love.
it never goes unnoticed. Okay, guys. All right, so let's go down to number 12, discussion, consideration, possible action regarding the adoption of the town of Hochatown vehicle use policy, establishing standards for the operation of town-owned and personal vehicles on town business, including authorization requirements, operator responsibilities, accident reporting procedures, and conditions for take-home vehicle assignments.
So during our last HBoT meeting that we held, Chief Williamson and Chief Gilbert shared some concerns. These concerns have been addressed, and this document has been updated to reflect those concerns.
I read it, I thought it was good.
Yeah, there was a few.
Julie, is the copy you gave them my red line so they can see the two? Okay.
No,
I can tell you which, I can point out to you the edits real quick.
bullet point D,
Like the change we discussed today, Liz, is it in here too?
Yes,
The one about
so
the-
we changed, for the emergency situation, okay, so if you flip to, it's gonna be section, 4, D. So this was the discussion of having passengers in the vehicle and the need to sign waivers. Obviously, there may be emergency situations where that's just not practical. So we added the little triple I that says notwithstanding the foregoing, a written waiver shall not be required when the non-employee is being transported as a passenger in connection with the provision of emergency services being administered or facilitated by an authorized town employee. So we can address emergencies without having to be like, we need you to sign this piece of paper first. So that was added there, and then on the taking the town vehicles home subsection A(5), we are excluded washing and waxing, and so that employees can do that on their off time if they'd like to.
They can do mine when they're done with the town vehicles.
Well, that's what Jason said earlier, he said, when are we supposed to watch
Yeah,
the
when are we
vehicles in our
supposed to do it?
full gear? I'm like, no.
Yeah, so those are the only two changes from what was presented previously.
Okay, yeah, that sounds great. Thank you. We have any other discussion on that, guys?
I make a motion to approve the town of Hochatown vehicle use policy as presented.
A second one.
Roll call vote, please.
Howard Hager,
Yes.
Diane Jordan,
Yes.
Robert McDaniel,
Yes.
Chad Sargent,
Yes.
Brenda Walters,
Yes.
motion carries.
Now, I'm assuming we have, if you guys will go to the police patches, the next item is discussion, consideration, possible action to review and possibly approve the Hochatown Police Department shoulder patch design. We had- So what you're looking at here currently, Adam, I'll say that, this design was sent to us how long ago? Was it last week?
I think Wednesday evening of last week.
Okay. Now, was there any other further designs that Chief was working on? Was there anything else beyond this one?
There's been some general discussion about this for 6
Yeah.
months without, I mean, we've been getting, again, TPs and arrowheads,
Hoping it gets in
clip
there.
art. And so we asked DG, who's obviously traveling from this area, to take a look, and what he did was give us this as a starting point. He's given some explanation of, you know, what the imagery and symbolism is. I thought the Yopon Holly was fantastic. Anybody that has hiked the tree trail, the trailhead there at the Nature Center, you know, 1 million people a year walk through that. You actually walk through a canopy of Yopon hollies going to that trail. And, you know, maybe someone who's not from here or is new to the community doesn't understand what all the symbolism is that is important to this community. So,
No, they don't.
this is a good start of
Probably
that,
don't,
you
yeah.
know, and, you know,
Where's this Yopon Holly at?
it's right here in the bottom left. And again, you're not seeing the color in this. Again, this was the
Oh, yeah, I
first
see.
draft.
Okay.
But, you know, you've got the little Yopon, holly berries in the bottom there. You've got the calumet, the peace pipe, and the axe, you know, I mean, police department, whichever one it takes, peace pipe or the axe, you know, but they're prepared to do both, I guess. But obviously this town was founded 190 years ago as a Choctaw community. And, I think having their input on that symbolism was really important for what this community is about. And I know that, we've got 2 councilmen here today that, you know, I think they, understand what some of this is about.
And I think that, thanks for that, Diane. What I want us to do on these type of decisions is to be transparent and honest. The problem with when you deal with these type of decisions, a lot of times transparency is taken offensive. Or, you know, you just because you don't agree with someone, then all of a sudden, you know, it's a bad idea. I personally know that, you know, Chief Williamson has, and you know, a few of his officers have, you know, expressed some new ideas that they'd like to bring to the table, so I think this needs to be continued. Does this look like a police patch? To me, in my opinion, no. I think that some of the patches that I've looked at over the course of the past couple of weeks with Chief Williamson look like police patches. These patches, to me, need to be reflective of what the police chief loves and believes in and feels like he wants to represent on his uniform. It doesn't necessarily need to be what we think as much as it does what he feels good about wearing day to day, and our officers as they move forward. You know, this is a great design, but also I want, in my opinion, you guys can chime in too. I want their contribution in this, and if there's some changes that they want to see made, let's work collectively together on that and get something that we're all happy with. Because I know there was some concerns with this.
Well, it'd be nice if they would be able to communicate with DG on what they'd like to see.
Exactly.
And we haven't had that.
And that's the question, can they?
Yeah,
Can we-
Absolutely they can,
Yeah, okay.
absolutely they can.
Yeah, that
We're
would
not
be great.
gatekeeping, everybody can have some input.
Yes, absolutely.
May I speak?
Yes.
Again, I know this is not a final design and everything, but again, with DG being from this area and doing his research and the artwork that he does, even for us as a Choctaw Nation, I hope this is to be a starting point and to see what some of those things represent. It not only represents just native designs, but like you said, the holly and everything that's native to this area. So again, just keep all those in mind, and we're not sitting here and saying, yeah, use this one or whatever, but here are some things that are pretty researched and everything and done in a respectful and transparent way. Again, contrary to popular belief, we're not all about dream catchers and wolves howling at the moon. You know, so again, and I'm not in law enforcement, so again, we want something that they feel proud to wear too.
Yes, yes, absolutely. Thank you, Tony.
Well said.
Appreciate it.
And someone that has been in law enforcement, he might have something to say on that also. If he,
Tony, you were in law enforcement for how long? Thomas, sorry.
I decided not.
He wasn't, but you were. How many years? I remember you
Thomas
telling me.
Wilson, yes, I was in law enforcement 25 years in this county.
Yes, I learned that a while back.
I've seen and done and heard just about everything that can happen to a human being and in an area. And speaking of the, from a native perspective, you know, I particularly like the patch because it depicts certain things that are dear to me and dear to a lot of people in the area, mostly the Native Americans. The circle represents the circle of life, and the calumet and the smoke and the peace pipe represents peace amongst one another. The diamond, of course, represents the, in my opinion, the people that came to settle here first, back in the 1830s. But you're right, it doesn't actually look like a police patch, but then again, the patch would more than likely, I think, would. The outside border would look like a police patch, and this would just be on the inside of it.
Yes, and that's something to think about too. You don't think about that, you know.
I'll mention that DJ actually said, this is the design, and then there are the different style patches. You know, you've got the shield, which kind of like, yeah, we the police, we're gonna run a tight ship, versus the chevron, which is a little more, we are the police and we're your friends. So there were different patches that this design actually goes on.
Gotcha.
And from the public perspective, I wore several patches, and children are intrigued about a small bit of color and the design. What's that? And it's a policeman's job, police officer's job is to relate to the public as well as the children. So, you know, everybody's got their own opinion, and there's no drastic move to nail it down to one. You know, just everyone be open-minded about the culture, the traditions, and the area where we're at, where we were born and raised. Myself. I remember the old Big Frank. That's the only store that was in Hochatown back in the day. Where the saloon was when they first flooded there and they moved all the graves out. That road went into the river, lake, and Dad used to take us swimming there when I was 6, 7, or 8 years old. That was a few years ago. But Hochatown does have a lot of history. Southeast Oklahoma does have a lot of history. And I just ask that we all reflect that in one manner or another, in a good way.
Thank you, Thomas, appreciate it. Chris, do you wanna chime in on?
I would just like to say that from the police department standpoint, we want to, our patch and our badge, we want to reflect what Hochatown represents from way back whenever it originated.
Yep.
We want to also honor our native heritage here, so we would greatly appreciate the input from our tribal partners. I would almost like to ask Thomas if he would like to be on our design team.
Yeah. Thomas, you want another role?
You want another patch?
I'll be honored to.
Fantastic.
For that, as far as that goes, my dad, when the tribal police was first initiated, they were called tribal police, they're life force today.
Yeah.
And he was the last life horseman within the Choctaw Nation. And then tribal police was originated, and he designed the first patch of the tribal police. And it showed a Choctaw horsemen on horseback with the Royalville police. So, anyway, that was pretty nice, I thought. And yes, I'd be honored to.
Thank you, Thomas.
Fantastic. Thank you, Chris.
I might mention one more thing, you know, we got this on the agenda as quick as we could get it. There are colors on this, some bright colors, and he talks about this a little bit in the description, which you can read, but it's difficult to see on this. But he specifically talks about how children could color it, what colors are being used and stuff, so that's something that you're also not seeing depicted here.
Well, we can take this and take some time to look through it and study it and get kind of, and then cohesively now that we've got Chris and a new creative design specialist. Thomas is gonna join the team, and so hopefully we can come together and come up with something hopefully even better and that's balanced for everyone. It sounds like we're all on the same page. Yeah, fantastic.
Do we want to, do we make a motion to, or just take no action?
I think that
Let the chief and Tom get together and get it.
And work with DG, obviously.
And DG does a great job
Oh,
explaining
yeah.
those things in that.
Yeah, wonderful
Yes, and
descriptions.
And Chris, you can get with your fellow officers too, and just sit down with them, and once you guys come up with some ideas, and that way, you know, you can get feedback. I think it's good, because everyone's gonna be on the same team, it's just nice to get everyone on the same page, let them know what we're doing. Great.
Chad, I don't know if you guys know this or not, but Grant Wilson was DG's grandfather. Those of you that knew Grant, or knew Gary Bob, you know
Yes.
Gary Bob. Gary Bob was his uncle. So he's a local kid, DG is.
So was
I mean-
Grant Gary Bob's dad or
Mm-hmm. Yep.
dad?
Dad, right, yeah.
his uncle was the co-top.
Oh, yes, okay.
You know, and buried in Hochatown
Okay.
Cemetery. Like I said, we've got a lot of history on this team,
Beautiful.
and we're lucky to have it.
Yes, we are.
Okay, good.
You know, we always struggle with this. I think we need to set a policy. If we take no action, I want to make a motion to take no action and take a motion.
Can we get Liz's input?
I'm fine either way, you can just say take no action, but if you'd like to take a motion and have everybody agree with that, I think that's fine.
I'll second that.
So Howard. Okay. Roll call vote, please.
Howard Haggard,
Yes.
Diane Jordan.
Yes.
Todd McDaniel.
Yes.
Chad Sargent.
Yes.
Bridget Walters.
Yes.
Motion carries.
All right. Item 14, discussion, consideration, and possible action regarding participation in the National Coalition Joint Lobbyist Agreement with Van Soil Associates at a cost of $1,000 per month for a 12-month contract term. So I'm assuming, Diane, could you fill us in on this a little
Love
bit?
to, love to. We've had some exciting meetings over the last month, working on getting our, national coalition for the zip code. And we're so much stronger together, you know, we've got, 70 towns across the United States that are involved in this project. And we specifically have 13 towns that have committed to having a lobbyist that they've got a team of like 30 people, but there's about 5 of them that will be dedicated to our, getting our Hochatown zip code. And they're in DC, they don't come from, you know, Colorado or California and fly in once in a while. They are there every day, keeping up with what's going on. And so this is the draft of the agreement. It goes along, the language is pretty clear that went with what we proposed in hiring a lobbyist. And again, it's, our cost actually went down a little bit, because 2 more towns came in, so it's $12,000 to get a $120,000 lobbyist, which is pretty good for us. And again, the contract's only for 12 months, it's all we can contract for anyway. It'd be great if we had a zip code for Christmas present, but we don't know that the Senate will give that to us, but they could if they wanted to. And so this is the agreement. I think what we're gonna ask for is, if the board would consider approving the agreement based on, Liz's finalization of the contract, but this is the general contract here.
Liz, if you
We'd
look
like
over
for
the
it to start
contract.
on
now?
November
Yeah, I
1st.
actually drafted that, it's
Oh,
just waiting
okay.
for them to plug in the actual lobbyist name and the amount, so
Yeah.
I just told Diane I thought it was a good idea to make a motion to approve it, subject to final review and approval of the attorney.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is this a
If we can do this, we can start it November 1st.
question? Is this a one-time payment, or we pay this once a month, and if we pay $4,000 a month, if we get a zip code by Christmas, is that the end of it, or do we owe the 12,000?
Good question.
I guess,
Doubt
I
it'll be
mean,
done by then, but it's a good question.
that's what I'm saying, I mean, I guess we could ask them, put in there, or until this,
Clause.
well, I'll tell you what, I think we ought to pay them for the full year, and
Yeah.
here's why. Just because they give us a zip code, I mean, the earliest they could possibly do this is before they leave for recess at Christmas,
Mhm.
you know, when they try to do a whole bunch of just voice votes. The post office still has 230 days to get it implemented, and we're gonna want that lobbyist on top of them, making sure that they actually do it. You know, we're not gonna be sending Christmas cards with our zip code in December. So I think it will take the full year to hold their feet to the fire that it's actually implemented after they've been instructed they have to do it. Because this town has certainly witnessed many opportunities where somebody's been instructed that they shall do something and then they don't do it.
Mhm.
And we continue to work to make these shalls occur. So Howard, I think,
I just want to bring that.
yeah, now that was a
for
great
clarity,
question,
for
great
clarity.
question. It was a dream, you know, it was a dream.
For clarity,
But,
so-
by the time they have their 9-month implementation period, I think we'd be well into, and in fact, it could go over a year, and we may wanna try to extend on a month-to-month basis if we have to. It could go as long as 18 months, if we have to go all the way to the next session.
And I pulled up the agreement real quick for you. With the agreement, the term is one of the things that needs to be plugged in still, which sounds like it will be 12 months. But the payment provision, provides that the total compensation, will not exceed X. So you guys, that's the 12,000 is what will be approved as the not exceed. And then that references, B, exhibit B, which is, the consultant shall use the following rates of pay and performance, this section to be completed, as negotiated. So I will have to see what they plug in there, but it sounds like we approve an up to the 12,000 a year, and based on how they draft exhibit B, it could either be they earn the full amount or we're paying them hourly. We don't have that exhibit B, which is why I suggest you pass this subject to the attorney's approval. And certainly in that way, we'll make sure it doesn't exceed the 12,000 that you approved to budget towards this project.
And if you'll notice too, in the termination of agreement, give 30-day notice.
Yes, yeah, it's got favorable termination provisions.
So I guess that's saying we probably don't need to write a check for 12,000 and give them. I'm being prejudiced here. I'm trying to make it easy on this gal, but I don't want her to have to keep up with another monthly check to write. I'll be honest with you. But anyway, we'll figure it out.
It says each month that the contractor shall furnish to the town an invoice for all work performed the prior month. So I would guess this is gonna get spelled out a little bit more how this particular contractor's rates are gonna work in that exhibit B when they send it back to us. But as drafted right now, this is a monthly invoicing situation.
Sounds good.
That's, go ahead.
It's a huge part.
Ready to make a motion?
Yeah, go ahead.
I would make a motion to participate in the National Coalition by hiring this lobbyist, Van Scoyo Associates.
You can also call it VSA.
Yes.
We've gone to VSA.
For a cost of $1,000 per month with a term of 12 months, subject to final approval from our attorney.
I'll second that.
I second.
All right, roll call, vote please.
Howard Haggard.
Yes.
Diane Jordan.
Yes.
Todd McDaniel.
Yes.
Chad Sargent.
Yes.
Brenda Walters.
Yes.
Motion carries.
All right, item 15, discuss and consideration of possible action regarding adoption of 2025 Fire Prevention Week proclamation recognizing October 5th through the 11th, 2025 as Fire Prevention Week in the town of Hochatown. So I believe we have that proclamation back. Yeah, Diane, if you want to go ahead and follow.
Yeah, so, like I said, we've had an incident this week that kind of reminded us in the good old days of the Hochatown Volunteer Fire Department, pretty much every resident was a member. And every year we filled out another form, and it included, did you have anybody with special needs? Did you have pets? You know, what are things that we need to know? And this would be a great opportunity for our hardworking social media group over there to let you know that our police and fire departments, if they know who our elders are, anybody that has special needs, that this would be a good opportunity that when they do have an emergency at their homes, then they could have some special attention needed for those folks. So I think this is a great opportunity to take care of our elders.
Fire is probably one of the most, as everyone knows, it's our top priority is safety in Hochatown. And, now that we've formed a department, it's going to elevate our ability to protect not only our forests, but the people and the tourists. And so this is a step towards support and recognition. So I think it's great. You want to get a motion on that?
I make a motion that we declare Fire Prevention Week for October 5th through the 11th for the town of Hochatown.
I'll second. Roll call vote, please.
Howard Haggard.
Yes.
Diane Jordan.
Yes.
Todd McDaniel.
Yes.
Chad Sargent.
Yes.
Brenda Walters.
Yes.
Motion carries.
All right, so we've got item 16, discussion, consideration, possible action to support the creation of the Friends of the Hochatown Public Library LLC as recommended by the Southeastern Oklahoma Library System. I believe Diane has.
Ready to talk about that?
Yes.
Yeah, so I was talking with SOLS, it's the Southeastern Oklahoma Library System. They're over all of the libraries in all of Southeast Oklahoma, except for Hochatown County and Antlers. For some reason, they're not in it, but it goes from McAllister to Poto, all over Southeast Oklahoma. And in every town, the town supports the library, but the 501c3 would allow our Hochatown Library to collect funds so that if we want to pay for the rent, if we want to have programs, if we want to paint birdhouses, we can collect funds directly for our Hochatown Library. I've floated this around. We've already collected $4,000 in pledges just to get it started from people who want to keep the library. But this certainly reduces some of the impact on the town itself, and it would give us some space to actually do some things. But having this Friends of the Library allows us to collect funds for the library, and it would only go to this library. If we collect any funds through the SOLS system, what they do is kind of like school districts. They put it in the pot and they stir it up and everybody gets a nickel. Well, we want our nickels to stay in Hochatown.
Mm-hmm.
And this allows us to do that. They've given us a template for it that all you do is take the other towns, Tallahena, we looked at Tallahena, you just plug in Hochatown. It's pretty standard library 501c3 that allows us to operate.
How many towns are doing that currently?
I think like 13.
Nice.
I'd have to go count. Don't write that down.
I was a member of the Broken Bow, Friends of the Broken Bow Library for years and years, served in different roles on that board. And
You're elected to the
they're
board.
elected, yes. Served as secretary, as
Yeah.
president.
One
But
of the
that,
main roles.
that organization actually was very instrumental in getting the sales tax passed in Broken Bow for the renovation of the old high school into the beautiful library
Wow.
building that is today.
How?
So,
How are they instrumental?
we supported the sales tax initiative
Just
For
get
the
behind it, okay,
communities.
beautiful.
and publicized it and spoke at different organizations about
Okay.
it. Just lots of support to the library staff themselves at different functions and things, and it's a great organization to have as part of your town, so, and support
Thank
the
you, Brenda.
library.
Thank you.
Well, great. Well, I think we need to do the same.
I would be the one to make the motion that we do establish the Friends of the Hochatown Public Library.
All right, we get a second.
I'll second that.
Roll call vote, please.
Howard Haggard.
Yes.
Diane Jordan.
Yes.
Todd McDaniel.
Yes.
Chad Sargent.
Yes.
Brenda Walters.
Yes.
Motion carries.
So Diane's getting a lot of these, agenda items because she's most familiar with them, just happens to fall this way, so.
Some months are bigger than others for everybody. You know, I took the summer off. I mean,
Yeah, so,
Making it.
so the next one is discussion, consideration, possible action to authorize the town administrator who is appointed to negotiate a 12-month rental agreement for the property located at 9981 North US Highway 259 Suite B, which is right across the way here, Hochatown, Oklahoma, at a rate of $1,500 per month for use by the Hochatown Town Library and related purposes. So, I don't know, Howard, if you have anything to say, or I know Diane will comment.
I'm like Diane, you know, the library's there. It's kind of crowded, like we all are. We're looking for space, and that kind of generated this whole thing. It's time to make some moves, and the library can do much more, as Diane said, can do much more with additional space that they don't have now. Plus the fact that the town itself is growing and expanding, and we need the space here. So I think it's a good move for both of us. I love the fact that Diane has got the Friends of the Library going and collected money. I put this on here, and what I would like to do is to make the motion for this to happen, and the town pay for it for one year. At that point, see what the Friends of the Library are ready to do, and we'll renegotiate after a year. But the library can do much more. We've got so much stuff that are still waiting in boxes at the town, not even there. All of our heritage stuff is still in boxes upstairs, hadn't even been put out yet, so.
And I'll say that, that space is, has, just like the, just like the item says here, I mean, there's a possibility that, it could be utilized for other related
I
purposes
just
too.
underlined that, speak about it.
So go ahead, if you wanna follow up on that, that was all I was gonna say.
You know, so,
People understand.
Volga, one of our original Hochatowners, she was willing to reduce the rent costs for the library as a nonprofit, as a community service that she was able and interested in doing. But we also talked about, what we really want is, we could do a lot of other things. We could, take tourist questions, we could, so if we keep it as still part of the town, we can answer phones over there, we can, make copies for people over there, we can do all kinds of things that are still town related. So we didn't want to say just a library, no town business going on over there, that yes, that is a town space, and
Yes.
we could, do all kinds of projects over there that we might need to do. We could have meetings over there when there's not enough room in here, when people are trying to, do their daily work. If somebody needs to meet with somebody, if we wanna talk about patch design, we could go over to a table at the library and do patch design. So that's why we specifically worded this to say related purposes, so
And
that
it's
we
not
have
unusual
flexibility.
not unusual at all for towns to support financially their libraries. And, I mean, Broken Bow did, not to pay rent, we were in, I think what is now the part of the police department.
It was the police department, that's the
Right,
library I
whole
grew up
along,
in, was the
and,
police department.
But the town supported it completely at that time, and, or the city. And again, the Friends of the Library basically, got behind to arrange for the building, and then left us sales tax of 1.8% to pay for maintenance of that building.
That's
But
my
otherwise-
next question, you said through sales tax, it had to be a certain percent or a penny or something,
Yeah,
like the
yeah.
county does.
Okay, so.
And I'm not sure that well, first of all, I'm not a fan of earmarking tax collections, because we don't know what it might be needed for, I mean, when the roads are all finished, why would we earmark roads when we might need something else? So I would, at this point it's premature, but I certainly wouldn't promote a sales tax to support the library, because I think our 501c3, I think we have a very generous community that will take care of the library, but, I think this is simple enough that we can see what happens in a year.
And to Brenda's point, I'll tell you guys, I represent the town of Gage, and their libraries in their city hall, their town hall as well. And Blanchard's was that way for years, especially in small towns. It's very, very common.
And it also helps people coming into town. They might be willing to come into town to ask questions, or, we do a lot of seed exchanges, we got sunflower seeds or whatever. It brings them into the town hall to realize that it's not a scary place. Or people come to town hall to pay their taxes or get a permit, and while I'm here, I can look at this old historical Hochatown map, or get some seeds, flower seeds for the office or something. So I think it's good to bring people in.
It's been a slow going, it's been a slow growing, I guess, addition. And I think as we move forward, the things that such as I had a tourist not long ago, we were just in my restaurant and they were like, she said something about books and I said, well, we have a library. And she's like, where? And I was like, well, it was across the road. She goes, I didn't see any signage. And so my question is, if we're gonna do this and we end up doing it, then my question is, will the library system help us with a sign, or can we look at maybe adding something where people know that we have a library?
There's actually a municipal sign. Barkabo has one. I can't remember. It's a blue sign. I mean, it's kind of a standard municipal sign that says library.
That would be great.
That we'll put on 259.
That would be great, because that's what she said. I didn't see it, so I think if the more people know that it's there and they have a printer and things like that, you'd be surprised how many would probably, start using it more so than now, because it is a slow, like I said, guys, let's be honest, it's a slow library. Our library goes some days, no one here. And so I think if we're gonna do it, we really need to weigh in what we're gonna do to promote it. And if we're gonna have it, it can't just be there for optics, it needs to be there for functionality. If we're paying for it, it needs to be functional. We need to make sure that, that money is being spent for the right reasons. And so if we're gonna do it, I think it's a wonderful addition. We need to just consider those things.
Well, and here's the rest of it. If we have some volunteers that can actually get in there and work, we can do all those things.
Yes.
But it's really hard to ask for a volunteer to come in here and work when there's not really a place for them to sit or to talk
That's
or
right,
to visit.
100%.
So it's
Yeah.
kind of we've got a cart and a horse and we need them at the same time.
And we need more space here.
And that's what I said, this would give us that
Yeah.
cart and horse and staff at the same
We're
time.
in a tough position right now with faculty, space, and, it's one of those things you don't think about, but Adam thinks about it every day. He's had to have his makeshift office in here since the inception, so, we're doing our best, and he's being very patient, and so is everyone else.
So it'd be great for Adam to be
I'll
able
work
to have
out a
meetings
shoebox
over
if
there.
you need me to.
Yeah, well, I know you will, so.
You could have a meeting over there
Yeah.
instead of in the middle of your desk.
So, the space will be much needed for additional staff, and this will definitely allow us, more opportunity to expand the library services and beyond that, whatever like Diane said, maybe we can hire someone, at $10, $12 an hour to work over there, at certain times during the week. Didn't you tell me, Bill?
And the town, the Souls will provide a librarian.
Yes, that's what I was
But
saying.
they put them on, I guess it's state benefits, I don't know what, it's under, but they'll get, benefits, salary, insurance. But we gotta be able to have a functional space before they can help us do that.
Absolutely.
That's on the list, is to have a paid librarian.
And they also provide internet and such.
Well, then they do the internet, they provide the printer, and, people may forget why we pushed for the library in the very beginning, because we didn't have a printer, we didn't have internet, we didn't have a lot of things that they were willing to help us get
Mhm.
as a community service,
Sure,
so,
and it provided it, sure.
and it did,
Okay, any further discussion?
Therefore, right done, all said and done.
We're all done.
I would like to make a motion that we authorize our county administrator and or his appointee to negotiate a 12-month rental agreement for Suite B, for place the library in there, $1,500 a month. Here, 12 months.
Howard, get a second.
second.
Diane? Roll call vote, please.
Howard Haggard.
Yes.
Diane Jordan.
Yes.
Todd McDaniel.
Yes.
Chad Sargent.
Yes.
Brenda Walters.
Yes.
Motion carries.
All right, guys, 18, discussion, consideration, possible action to convene into executive session for the purposes of pursuant to Title 25 Oklahoma Statutes 307, discuss employment, hiring, appointment, demotion, promotion, discipline, or resignation of police chief, and pursuant to Title 25 Oklahoma Statutes to discuss the purchase of appraisal of real property. 210.
Can I have a motion?
You need a motion?
Yes.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Howard
Roll call.
Haggard.
Yes.
Diane Jordan.
Yes.
Todd McDaniel.
Yes.
Chad Sargent.
Yes.
Brenda Walters. Motion carries at 211.
Who seconded it?
Todd.
All right. 19-403. So we're on, 19, discussion possible action to reconvene an open session. And we took,
I'll make a motion to reconvene.
yes,
1 second.
roll call?
Howard Haggard.
Yes.
Diane Jordan.
Yes.
Carter Daniel.
Yes.
Chad Sargent.
Yes.
Brenda Walters.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Statement of executive session minutes. No action was taken.
Well, you need to say the board met in executive session for the purpose of, read all the things, and then say that.
Okay, the statement of executive session minutes, the board met to discuss the, A and B. A, to discuss the employment, hiring, employment, promotion, discipline, and resignation of police chief. And pursuant to Title 25 Oklahoma statutes to discuss the purchase of or appraisal of real property.
And then you say, no action.
No action is taken. All right, and now we're down to 21. Correct?
Yes.
The discussion, consideration, possible action on any discussion from executive session.
No action.
No action was taken, so still.
Okay. All right. Any new business, any matter known to which could have been legally foreseen prior to the time of posting the agenda? Discussion, consideration, and possible action to adjourn.
Make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second that.
Howard Haggard.
No.
Howard Haggard.
I saw one in the office.
I know.
She's calling for votes.
Roll call.
Yes.
Roll call.
Diane Jordan.
Yes.
Carter Daniel.
Yes.
Chad Sargent.
Yes.
Brenda Walters.
Yes.
Motion carries at 4:06.
Adam, I told you,